Hi guys, and welcome back to Once Upon a Tiny Farm. My name's Drew, and in today's video, it's going to be a really quick video, but I just wanted to talk about two new things that I'm going to be using this year for producing my seed starts that is going to help me make the best starts possible, so that when I plant things in the ground and they get transplanted, they just take off and there's no root-bound roots, and things just take off and start growing right away without any interruption. So in order to do that, I had to upgrade my seed starting equipment, and I'll show you that right now. So this here is the Neversink Farm Windstrip Tray. And what makes this really, really cool and different from your typical seed tray, actually, hold on a second, I will compare it to the seed tray that I used last year. So this is a 200 cell tray that I got from Bootstrap Farmer. It's actually a pretty good tray. They're pretty sturdy and well made, but it is still plastic, and I did have a few of these tear on the corners and stuff. But for the most part, these held up pretty well. But what makes the difference between this standard cell tray, you know, it just got a little hole in the bottom, and this Winstrip tray is the bottoms here are completely open, and you'll see these slits here on the sides of each cell. And what that will do is air prune your seedlings so that they don't, the roots won't wind around and get root bound if they stay in the cell too long. They will air prune when they go and feel the air in these corners and in the bottom, and they'll grow even more. They'll start growing even more roots, and they'll do that all throughout. So this tray is something that mimics what you would get from a soil blocker. This is another thing that I'm going to be using. This is a 2-inch soil blocker. There's only 4. It does at a time, and it's got those little dibbles there that makes a hole for the seeds to be planted. But you would make your seed mix, wet it, and then, So anyway, last year I only used these 200 cell trays for my lettuce transplants. Now, we grow a lot of Salanova lettuce. We sell a salad mix at our local farmers market, and that was our bread and butter all year, growing the salad mix. And my rows were all 25 feet long, and I actually needed 200 cells to complete a 25-foot row. So this worked out perfectly. The thing that I didn't like, that I realized after the season, is that this is a little bit, these cells are just a little bit too small. So a lot of times my plants got root bound in these cells, and that's partially my fault, because I should have got maybe like 128 cell, which is what this is. This is a little bit larger than these holes were. So this is a 128 cell tray that I'm going to be using now for my lettuce transplants this year. So they got root bound a lot, and there was 2 weeks actually. It's my first year. It was my first year growing at market last year, and I had issues later in the season where I had plants that stayed in the tray too long. They went into the ground and they didn't take off like I wanted them to, and they didn't grow at the rate that I needed them to, and I actually missed 2 weeks at the market because I didn't have my product ready to go. And I think that was partially my fault for keeping them in such a small, tray cells, and something I don't want to happen this year. I want things to just be put in the ground and grow. So this Windstrip tray, I got 20 of these on Black Friday. I've had an eye on these for a while, and I was on the email list with Neversink Farm for some of their they have other cool tools and products too. But these Windstrip trays are not cheap. But on Black Friday, there was, I think it was like 15% off or 10% off, something like that. I ended up getting 20 trays and spent $200 on them instead of like $230+. So I saved about $30 and got 20 of these 128 cell trays. So what sets this apart, again, besides those other things, this is injection molded. So this is solid. This is not going to break. You can't even bend it. It's injection molded. It is solid. So I think they say that this will last about 30 years. So this will last a very long time. I've only been alive for 34 years, so that's a really long time. So I'm really happy that I got these. I got 20 of these. So basically everything that I plant this year is going to go into these Windstrip trays that, like I said, mimics the soil blocks. Now I'm still planning to use this soil blocker for, like I said, I'm going to use the Windstrip trays for my lettuce transplants, maybe some things like kale, and I might try green onions in these as well. Also spinach in the early spring. But for everything else, things that are going to be in the ground or need to be in trays a little bit longer, like tomatoes and peppers, I'm going to do all of those transplants with the soil block maker. So I'm still going to be doing some soil blocks. So I'm still going to get some use out of the soil blocker, just not for everything, because this would take so long. I can only do 4 at a time, as you can see. They do make some soil blockers on, I was looking at Johnny's website, and they have some where you could do 20 at a time or 35 soil blocks at a time, but they're very expensive, as were these Windstrip trays. But I just decided to go with these to get the deal on these 20 Windstrip trays, which should pretty much hold me over for this season for all of my starts. And I'm really happy with how sturdy these trays are. These are really cool. I'm excited to get things planted. So that's all I really wanted to share in this video, that I got the Windstrip trays and my soil blocker, and all of my seedlings that I start this year for market and for us, things that we grow at home, are going to be done with those two things. So we're going to do away almost completely with these Bootstrap Farmer trays. I do have some other 50 cell trays from Bootstrap Farmer that I might still use for certain things. And actually this 200 cell tray from Bootstrap Farmer worked really well for flower starts, so I might use that for doing some starts for flowers and things like that. So I'm not going to completely get rid of them, but for the most part, things that I really need to grow for market are going to be done with these Windstrip trays, and I'm really excited about using them. And pretty soon I have some videos planned coming up. I'm going to be making my own seed starting mix, so I'm going to do a video specifically on that. It's the first time that I've ever done that, but I already got all my supplies. I'm actually just waiting for one thing to come in the mail, and then I'll be able to complete my own seed starting mix. And in early February, I'm actually going to be planting our first onions. The onions are going to be the first thing that I plant in early February, and that's what that seed starting mix will be used for coming up. So that'll be another video coming up. We grew a lot of onions last year. I want to grow even more this year, and even bring some. I didn't bring any onions to market, but I'm gonna plan to bring some onions to market this year, see how they sell, and if they don't sell, I'm just gonna eat them because we love onions. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video. Just wanted to share some info about those Windstrip trays. They're really cool. Let me know in the comments if you have used those before, and let me know what you think, your opinion of those, and also with soil blocking. And yeah, let me know what you think. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.